Welcome to another episode of Litodio, where we bring books to life in minutes and give you insights for life. Today, we're discussing Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us by Daniel H. Pink, a book that's more relevant now than ever. Whether you're striving to unlock your own potential or looking for ways to motivate your team or business, this book is packed with transformative ideas that can change how you approach work, creativity, and life. In today's world, where motivation can sometimes feel elusive or misdirected, Drive offers a fresh perspective. Pink challenges the old ways of thinking about motivation, like relying on rewards and punishments, and introduces a new framework that focuses on the powerful drivers of autonomy, mastery, and purpose. This is a book for anyone who wants to tap into their intrinsic motivation and push beyond external rewards, and it's perfect for anyone interested in improving personal performance, leading a team, or understanding how to get the best out of themselves and others. In this episode, we'll break it all down for you. First, we'll introduce the book and its core ideas. Then, we'll take you through a chapter-by-chapter run-through, covering all the insights that will help you rethink motivation and productivity. Finally, we'll wrap up with the key takeaways, practical lessons you can start applying today to supercharge your motivation and goals. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore the science of motivation and how it can transform your life. In Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us, Daniel H. Pink challenges everything we think we know about motivation. In a world driven by rewards and punishments, Pink argues that traditional incentives, like bonuses and commissions, often fail to inspire real, long-lasting motivation. Instead, he presents a bold new theory of motivation that taps into the human need for autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Drawing on decades of research in psychology, economics, and neuroscience, Pink introduces a framework that shifts the focus from external rewards to intrinsic drive. He explains how businesses, schools, and even individuals can harness these fundamental motivators to unlock creativity, improve performance, and enhance well-being. Written in response to the changing landscape of work and life in the 21st century, Drive explores how intrinsic motivation is more powerful than extrinsic rewards in a world where routine tasks are increasingly automated and innovation and problem-solving take center stage. Pink's insights have reshaped how we think about leadership, productivity, and personal fulfillment, making Drive a must-read for anyone interested in understanding what truly drives us to succeed. Chapter 1. The Rise and Fall of Motivation 2.0. Okay, so Pink starts by explaining what we've all been conditioned to believe about motivation, this idea of motivation 2.0. It's basically the carrot and stick method. Do something good, get rewarded, the carrot; mess up, get punished, the stick. Pretty simple, right? Well, Pink argues this model worked for routine, mechanical tasks, but it's not effective for complex, creative, or knowledge-based work, which is the bulk of what we do today. He uses a few interesting experiments to show how external rewards, like money, don't always work as well as we think. For example, one experiment showed that when people were given financial incentives to solve a puzzle, their performance actually dropped. It turns out rewards can mess with our natural motivation, especially when tasks require thinking or creativity. The takeaway here is that we need a new understanding of motivation, one that works better in our modern, innovation-driven world. Chapter 2. The 3 Elements of Motivation. Now, Pink introduces the big idea, Motivation 3.0. He argues that the secret to motivation lies in 3 key elements: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. These are the intrinsic motivators, which are more powerful and sustainable than external rewards. Autonomy, the desire to direct our own lives. Pink tells the story of a company called Atlassian, which allows employees to work on whatever they want for one day each month. The results? Employees are more engaged, and the company gets incredible innovation and new ideas. Mastery, the urge to get better at something that matters. Pink shares the example of how musicians or athletes practice relentlessly, not for money but because they love improving. Mastery is about doing something just for the sake of getting better at it. Purpose, the desire to do something that matters. Pink talks about how people who have a strong sense of purpose, like employees at Whole Foods who feel aligned with the company's mission, are more driven and committed to their work. These three elements, Pink argues, are what really drive high performance and engagement, especially when it comes to tasks that require creativity, problem-solving, and critical thinking. Chapter 3. Type X and Type 1. Here, Pink introduces the concepts of Type X and Type 1 personalities. Type X people are motivated by extrinsic rewards, money, recognition, while Type 1 people are driven by intrinsic motivators like passion and purpose. Pink tells us that Type 1 people, who are motivated by autonomy, mastery, and purpose, tend to do better in creative and challenging environments. He uses the example of Google's famous 20% time, where employees could use 20% of their work hours to pursue projects they were passionate about. This led to innovations like Gmail and Google Maps, all stemming from intrinsic motivation. The lesson here? Encouraging intrinsic motivation rather than just focusing on extrinsic rewards can lead to better outcomes in both personal and professional settings. Chapter 4. Autonomy. This chapter dives deeper into the importance of autonomy. Pink explores how autonomy is crucial for motivation, especially in the workplace. He tells the story of a company called RO, results-only work environment, where employees have complete control over how and where they work as long as they deliver results. RO employees report much higher satisfaction and engagement compared to those in traditional work environments. Pink also points out that people want autonomy in three areas: task, what they do; time, when they do it; technique, how they do it; team, who they work with. By giving people more control over these aspects, we can foster a more motivated and productive environment. Chapter 5. Mastery. Mastery is all about the drive to get better at something, and Pink shows that it's the desire for improvement, not external rewards, that keeps us going. He introduces the concept of the Goldilocks task, the perfect balance between difficulty and skill. It's that sweet spot where the task is just challenging enough to keep us engaged, but not too easy or too difficult. He uses the example of video games, which are designed to always push us towards mastery by offering progressively harder challenges. The key is that mastery isn't something we achieve once and for all. It's a journey, not a destination. The lesson here is that to stay motivated, we need to continuously challenge ourselves and seek improvement rather than focusing solely on the end result. Chapter 6. Purpose. In this chapter, Pink emphasizes the importance of purpose, the desire to do something that matters. He talks about how people who feel connected to a larger cause or mission tend to be more motivated and fulfilled. A great example he uses is the work of the One Laptop Per Child project, where employees are driven not by financial rewards, but by the desire to provide laptops to children in developing countries. Pink also explains that organizations can tap into purpose by aligning their goals with something meaningful, like how Patagonia is committed to environmental sustainability. This sense of purpose can help motivate employees and inspire long-term commitment. Chapter 7. The Trouble with Rewards. Pink digs deeper into why traditional reward systems, like bonuses or pay raises, can actually backfire. He shares research showing that while rewards may boost performance for simple tasks, they can undermine performance for tasks that require creativity or problem-solving. The reason? Rewards can shift the focus from intrinsic enjoyment to external gain, which diminishes our natural motivation. A key takeaway here is that while rewards aren't inherently bad, they should be used sparingly and in the right context. Too much focus on external rewards can harm long-term motivation, especially for tasks that require innovation. Chapter 8. When and How to Apply Motivation 3.0. This chapter provides practical advice on how to apply the principles of Motivation 3.0, autonomy, mastery, and purpose, in different settings. Pink discusses how leaders and organizations can redesign workplaces, education systems, and personal goals to foster intrinsic motivation. He highlights companies like Zappos, which empower employees to make decisions and innovate on their own, and how this has led to success. He also talks about the importance of creating a culture that nurtures intrinsic motivation and gives examples of businesses and schools that have embraced these principles. Conclusion: the new science of motivation. In his conclusion, Pink reiterates the main idea of the book. We are moving beyond traditional rewards-based motivation, Motivation 2.0, to a world where intrinsic motivation, driven by autonomy, mastery, and purpose, becomes the real key to high performance and personal satisfaction. He challenges us to rethink the way we work, educate, and live, and urges us to embrace a new model of motivation that is more sustainable, human-centered, and aligned with the demands of the modern world. Here are the main takeaways from Drive. The surprising truth about what motivates us. 1. Autonomy is a game changer. Think about the last time you were given the freedom to choose how you do something at work or school. It probably felt empowering, right? That's what autonomy is all about, being able to direct your own actions. Daniel Pink argues that people are way more motivated when they have control over what they do, how they do it, and when they do it. Example, Google's 20% time allowed employees to spend 20% of their workweek on projects they were passionate about. It led to the creation of Gmail and Google Maps. When people are given the freedom to work on things that excite them, they do amazing things. Takeaway: if you're leading a team or managing projects, give people more control. Trust them with decisions. It will lead to more innovation and better results. 2. Mastery is the secret to staying engaged. Mastery is the drive to get better at something. We all want to feel like we're improving at something meaningful. If you've ever practiced a skill, like playing an instrument or learning a new language, you know that the process of getting better is often more rewarding than the result itself. Example, think about athletes or musicians who practice for hours, not because they're getting paid more for every hour they practice, but because they enjoy improving and mastering their craft. Takeaway: to stay motivated, find something that challenges you and allows you to improve. It's not about being perfect, it's about the journey of getting better. 3. Purpose is a powerful motivator. Having a sense of purpose is huge. When you feel like what you're doing matters beyond just earning money or getting a promotion, you're way more motivated. This is why employees at companies like Patagonia, which has a mission to protect the environment, are so passionate about their work. Example, the team at One Laptop Per Child was driven not by financial rewards but by the mission to provide affordable education to children in the developing world. Their sense of purpose made them incredibly dedicated. Takeaway: if you want to motivate yourself or others, make sure there's a larger purpose behind the work. Whether it's a company's mission or a personal goal, knowing your work contributes to something meaningful can be incredibly motivating. 4. External rewards don't always work. Here's the thing: rewards like money, prizes, or bonuses might seem like a good motivator, but Pink's research shows that for tasks that require creativity or problem solving, they can actually hurt performance. When people focus on the reward, they often lose sight of the process, which kills their intrinsic motivation. Example, in one experiment, when people were offered a financial reward for solving a puzzle, their performance dropped. They were too focused on the reward rather than just enjoying the puzzle itself. Takeaway: if you want to boost motivation, focus less on external rewards and more on building autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Give people room to enjoy the process, not just the payoff. 5. We're all driven by intrinsic motivation. Pink argues that intrinsic motivation, the desire to do something because we enjoy it or because it's meaningful, is way more powerful than extrinsic motivation, like rewards or punishments. This is why people are often more motivated when they're doing something they care about, rather than something they're being paid to do. Example, ever seen a musician jam in their garage, not for money but because they love making music? That's intrinsic motivation in action. They're not thinking about fame or fortune, they're just in it for the love of the craft. Takeaway: whether it's your personal goals or how you motivate others, tap into what people are passionate about. Find what excites them, and you'll see motivation soar. 6. Use rewards wisely. While Pink suggests that rewards aren't always effective, he doesn't say they're useless. The key is using them sparingly and strategically. For example, rewards can be great for simple, repetitive tasks but aren't as effective for creative or complex work. Example, offering a reward for a job well done works when you need people to do repetitive tasks, like assembly line work. But for creative work, like writing or designing, the focus should be on giving people the space to experiment and grow. Takeaway: don't rely on rewards to motivate people for everything. For tasks that require thinking, problem solving, or creativity, focus on building intrinsic motivation instead. 7. Create the Goldilocks task. To stay motivated, we need tasks that are just the right level of difficulty, challenging enough to keep us engaged, but not so hard that we give up. This is called the Goldilocks task. Not too hard, not too easy, but just right. Example: in video games, the difficulty increases slowly over time, keeping players engaged. If the game's too easy, they get bored. If it's too hard, they get frustrated. But when it's just the right amount of challenge, they stay hooked. Takeaway: find or create tasks that challenge you without overwhelming you. It's the sweet spot that keeps you engaged and motivated. 8. Focus on the long term, not just short-term rewards. Pink stresses the importance of building motivation that lasts. Instead of relying on short-term rewards, like a bonus or a prize, focus on creating lasting, sustainable motivation. This means cultivating autonomy, mastery, and purpose in everything you do. Example: instead of aiming for a quick promotion or salary bump, focus on developing your skills, growing in your career, and finding a job or project that aligns with your values and long-term goals. Takeaway: long-term motivation is way more powerful than short-term incentives. Look for ways to grow, learn, and contribute to something meaningful, and motivation will follow naturally. So, the big takeaway from Drive is this: motivation isn't about just rewarding people for good behavior. It's about tapping into their intrinsic desire for autonomy, mastery, and purpose. When we feel in control, like we're improving, and like we're working towards something meaningful, that's when we're truly motivated. Thanks for tuning in to Litodio. If you enjoyed this summary and want to keep expanding your reading list with quick, engaging insights, be sure to hit that follow button, subscribe, and share with friends who love books as much as you do. We'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode, so feel free to leave a comment. We'll link to the book in the description. Until next time, stay curious.